Good evening, everyone. How are we all doing? Welcome back to another stream on the channel. Tonight we're here to discuss some transfer news for the first. Hopefully we're coming back. Right, I think we are back. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, believe about that. Yeah, tonight, like I was trying to say before streaming, I decided to just delete me for some reason. But yeah, tonight we're going to be discussing some transfer news. Timothy Castagne, who of course has been heavily linked to a move to Juventus. We all know that Castagne is probably going to go. Also, some news on Wilfred Ndidi. There's a few links around him, particularly around obviously Brendan Rodgers, who has returned to Celtic. And we'll also get the latest on James Maddison. There's been a few bits coming out about him today, and also the future on Harvey Barnes. Hopefully the streamers are working okay now. I think he just glitched out for some reason. But yeah, a few of you guys in here already. Hello to Jerry. We'll talk about the sponsor result and the new kit in a moment. I'll try and find it's like I think it's footy headliners. Put the kit on. So we'll talk about that a bit later as well. Hopefully we're back now. And yeah. First of all, we're going to be discussing Timothy Castagne, who is probably the one who's more linked. See that we got a new little thing here. But yeah, Castagne. Then Sky Sports are reporting it. So Juventus are in talks with Leicester over a deal to sign Timothy Castagne. I'm just going to switch me over there because I can't actually read it, which is fantastic. So. But yeah, Timothy Castagne. Then Juventus are interested in him for some reason. I do not know why. I don't know why Arsenal are interested in him either, but there we go. But yeah, right now it looks like Juventus are the front runners. The reported fee is around 13 million, I do believe. I'll get into another source about that in a moment. But I think 50 million around that fee for Timothy Castagne, you would probably take it. So we'll have to talk about it. We'll have to see what happens. But a few of you guys are talking about kits. So you know what? Let's go and discuss the kit now. Why not? Let me just go and quickly try and find the press release of it, because the kit which we played against West Ham isn't actually our new kit, which is a bit weird. So you know what? Let's discuss the new kit now. And I found the thing, so I'm just going to get it on the screen. Give me a moment. I should have done this before. I've got all the transfer news planned up. So yeah, ignore the adverts. But here it is then. So this is reportedly the new Leicester kit for the upcoming season. Obviously against West Ham, we did play in the supposedly new kit, but that isn't it. FBS. So as you can see here, update, the Leicester 23-24 home kit is still unavailable to buy by the club. It has not been launched because their deal with FBS is certainly finished. So yeah, FBS has gone. I don't know who will come in. I imagine it will be someone. I can't see us going sponsor us in the championship because we need the extra income. But yeah, FBS, also stands as effing BS, has left. So thank you for absolutely nothing. Since we've had them, we've been absolutely awful. So it's good to see them not go. And I don't really rate the sponsor either, to be fair. And I thought the new kit with the FBS sponsor was pretty awful. But yeah. So yeah, the kit is similar from the back. I think on the front we have a new design. I don't know if you guys can see it on here, but it's like some foxes going down with a few lines. It's all right. It looks very training toppy, if you get what I mean. I like the idea of no sponsor, but then again, that does look like a training top. So we'll have to see what happens. But obviously, the kit is meant to be going on sale on the 1st of July. I can't see that happening. So I believe Leicester are going to be trying to get a sponsor. I think there's a few more images as well. So obviously, this is what it looked like. And to be fair, I don't like it. I think the FBS, I think the trade online text is just awful, to be fair. So I'm kind of happy it's gone. So this is a better image. So we'll have to see how it goes. But I think that's much better. I don't think it's our best kit we've done in recent years, but it's not too bad. Obviously, there's no gold on the kit. Although actually there isn't there on the sleeves on the back. There's a bit of gold. We shouldn't really have gold considering we got relegated, should we? But yeah, there's a few gold details. I like the fox on the back. It's pretty basic, I guess. It's not too bad. It could be better. So yeah, there we go. There is a bit on the kit. But yeah, when the kit does come out, I'll obviously buy it. I'll give Leicester another 63 quid. Hopefully they can sign some players with that. But yeah, when the kit comes out, I'll do a full kit unboxing stuff as I do every year. It always gives me some decent views as well. So yeah, that's the plan for that one. But yeah, back onto the transfer news then. As we were saying, we're going to go into the chat there quickly. We'll move on to Ndidi in a moment. But yeah, let's get into the chat. So I think we got up to here, don't we? So yeah, welcome to the stream. Leicester for life as well. Hope you're doing all right. Do you think we'll go straight back up? And if don't, where do you think we'll finish? I think it's too early to say. If there's any background noise, by the way, I've got a fan going because it's just too hot, even though I'm in a tracksuit top. But I don't know. I think it's a bit too early. You would hope so, wouldn't you? But I think the championship this year is very competitive. There's some very good teams in there. Even teams who have come up all of a very big stature. In particular, Sheffield Wednesday, Ipswich Town as well. So it's going to be difficult. But I would hope to say we would at least get top 6 for playoffs. But then again, the playoff situation in the championship is very tough to predict. Is it tops? Yeah, it's 3, 4. Yeah, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, isn't it? Which gets playoffs. So yeah, I thought FBS was for one more year. I think it's just Premier League, isn't it? That is literally why. In the contract, if you went down, it's terminated. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? I felt it goes back to the point again that Leicester once again just don't seem to realise that we had a massive chance of going down, and now I think they're coming to the realisation that's happening. Like, is there really much point releasing the kit? And the kit's changing anyway. It's very weird. So yeah, I don't get it. Obviously, we got the pre-season tour as well, 5 days before the season starts in Asia, which is a stupid decision. But there you go. Leicester seem to just think we're going to be in the Premier League forever because we didn't show. It's only one game though, isn't it? I think it's a bit of a stupid decision to have that completely new kit to use it for one game, and the kit for the actual seasons is similar, but it's a bit different. I don't really get it. I think with SPORTSA, obviously the most likely thing is to go back to King Power, but then again, you don't know. Obviously King Power isn't as profitable, but then again, are we going to be able to get a sponsor which sprang in as much money as FPS? We'll have to wait and see. But overall, you would kind of hope that it's King Power. I don't think we'll get a gambling sponsor or anything like that. I can't see Top doing that. So we'll have to see. But didn't Leicester website announce that was our new kit? Yeah, I think it's just a complete mess up. Yeah, exactly that. It's very similar, but there is a few. There's some little tweaks to it. Indeed, two days left till the fixtures come out. I'm going to be going live on the morning the fixtures come out. If you guys are free, I know some of you have work and school and stuff, so that is fine. But yeah, around 10 to 9 on Thursday morning, I'll be going live, reacting live to the new fixtures. So make sure to join us for that one. Walker's Crisps, I'll take that. Definitely buying the away kit. I have to see what I kind of hope you have like a black and gold one like that. They always go nice. Jared, I'll quickly get the picture back up for you if you want. There is a few differences. So yeah, I think the main difference is just the fox down the middle. This pattern here, this is like on the front of the shirt. So that is the main difference with the new kit. Why am I keep moving around? Let's go down here. There we go. Ilias Chair, yeah, obviously was rumoured a few days after we got relegated, actually. I haven't really heard anything since, so I don't really know. Obviously, Enzo's now at the wheel, so I think more signings, hopefully, are going to be based on who he wants. So we'll have to wait and see. But I can see some movement start to happen now. Obviously, the season is completely done now. There's a few internationals tonight. Obviously, England played their last game yesterday. All the players are going on holiday. So for the likes of Maddison and Barnes as well, I can see their deals progressing quite a lot in the next couple of weeks. So we could see some movement around them. But yeah, we'll discuss Barnes and Maddison a bit later. Need Maddison and Barnes gone ASAP. 100% agree. Their money, I think they're them to the key assets. Yeah, 100%. And we'll discuss some figures. Leicester are hoping for around 50 million for Maddison, which is a bit steep, but it could happen if the bidding war begins. But obviously, right now, Newcastle are the favourites. Yeah, it's one of them, really. It's one of how much money we can get. But if we can make these sales, could be key. It would be a good sign, 100%. I like the black and green one last year. To be fair, our away kit is usually quite decent. So, yeah, I heard about that. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, back onto the transfer news then, boys and girls. So we'll discuss Castagne a little bit. I'm just going to wrap up the Castagne news. So there's nothing too major about it. if I can get the right tweet, is this the ones? Yeah, Fabrizio Romano said a few stuff about him as well. So you know that this deal is obviously progressing. It's true. It's reliable. There's some very reliable Italian sources talking about it as well. So yeah, Leicester want 15 million euros, which is about 13 million pounds to sell Timothy Castagne this summer. No bid from Arsenal at this stage, despite reports. Juventus have opened talks as well to sign Castagne. So for Arsenal, their priorities are obviously Arsenal are linked with Rice right now, Kai Havertz as well for some reason. So Arsenal priorities are on them, and then obviously they'll move to Castagne later, which doesn't really suit us. That's why I believe if Castagne is probably going to go to Juventus, if anyone, as long as someone else doesn't come in. So we'll have to wait and see. Juventus are obviously, as I said here, they're linked with Lucas Vazquez from Real Madrid as well. So yeah, that's about it for Castagne. Nothing too major right now, but Juventus, Arsenal are all knocking on the door. Juventus a little bit more, but yeah, it's some very reliable sources. So I believe that deal could well happen. So yeah, next up then on the agenda, Wilfred Ndidi. So if you guys don't know, Brendan Rodgers has returned back to Celtic. Obviously the elite manager himself, who has gone back to Celtic to had a few more trophies in Scotland, but. Yeah, according to reports, Rodgers is interested in so-called raiding Leicester to bring in some players, which I find a little bit annoying. I don't think he said that himself, but you know, he sends us down and then goes to sign all of our players. But feel free, you know, feel free to sign Vestergaard, Ward, and Bertrand, mates. But yeah, it's just a bit, I don't know, but I have to wait and see. But yeah, obviously Ndidi is the thing. But yeah, let's get back into the chat. If you talk about Maddison there, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, I think. Yeah, I think the only reason why Maddison would go to Spurs over Newcastle is simply because Newcastle's a long way away. London's, you know, not as far. Obviously, he's got a kid. He's got two on the way as well. So, yeah, I think that would be the only reason. But you would imagine he'll go Newcastle. They've got Champions League. He's more likely to probably start. It's more of an ambitious club. The project's better. Tottenham is very toxic. So, yeah, I think it all adds up for him to go into Newcastle. But then again, it depends who bids most, because I don't think, obviously, Leicester don't really care who he goes to. Our home kits usually are quite good. Yeah, I got all the kits that year. All very, very nice. Yeah, on to Wilfred Ndidi then. Obviously, I mentioned him being linked to Celtic. He's also being linked to Saudi Arabia, which is very nice because that means he can get a lot of money. So yeah, let me get the tweet up quickly. Let me just move myself over again. Don't know why it keeps moving. There you go. So yeah, this club, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that. But yeah, they've held talks with Wilfred Ndidi over a transfer to the Saudi League. This is from a Tier 1 source, according to Foss Hub. There was some slight reports over 35 million. I'm not sure how reliable that is, but if we could get 35 million pound for Wilfred Ndidi, that would be an absolute piece of incredible business, to be fair. So yeah, whoever this club are, do it, and we'll let Wolf go. For 35 million, that would be absolutely beautiful, because that could mean we can reinvest that money into 2 to 3, 4 decent players in the Championship, and yeah, replace a player who's been pretty awful for this year, and he weren't that great last year either. So yeah, but I think with Wolf, it's a bit of a, you know, we've seen quite a few players go to Saudi Arabia. The key one being Ruben Neves, really, at his stage of his career. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema's gone there, but you know, they're agent. But you know, for someone like Ruben Neves to go there is a bit strange. So if he goes there, could Wilfred Ndidi be the next one in line? I can't really see him going, but it's interesting. But you know, I think, you know, I moved to Celtic. He's got 1 year left on his contract. It's not going to be a big price. I think we're looking at 10 to 15 million once again, realistically at max. So obviously, if Rodgers is there, if he wants him, it's more likely that the deal could go ahead. So yeah, that's the latest on Ndidi. Obviously, nothing too concrete right now, as you would expect. Obviously, the transfer has only just opened. Obviously, he's on the internationals as well. So, just like I said, when our players come back from the internationals, Castagne is playing just right now for Belgium. I think we'll start to see some movement on the transfer front as well. So, yeah, let's get back into the chat. Keep getting involved in the chat. So I saw something about Saudi having interest in Ward. I think that was people just joking around, but maybe. Rodgers wants a Marty. I did see that earlier today as well. Correct. Yeah, that's true. If Wilfred Ndidi wants, you know, a fat paycheck, if he wants to go there for a few years, you know, depends how he feels. If you know any Celtic fans, ask them Ron Rodgers returned their fuming. Yeah, bit ironic, isn't it? Because they said something right. Fixtures going to get leaked probably. Yeah. Do you think Maresca will loan Pratt out, or I think Pratt will go on a permanent to Torino, I believe. I don't think it depends. Though, really, it really depends what Enzo likes, doesn't it? Maybe Enzo would like to see them in training a bit, but then again, obviously the first few weeks are more fitness related. So, but to be fair, I'll be very shocked to see Dennis Pratt in the Leicester shirt next year and forever, really. So, I'm gonna say as a tweet to do even. Do you mean the Danny Ward? I don't even know. Yeah, if Danny Ward could go to Saudi Arabia, that would be beautiful as well. To be fair, I'd be quite happy if most of our players would. To be fair, go for it, boys. Give us the money. That's what we need to do right now. Everyone moans about all Man City's money and stuff, but if we could, just get a load of money, take it. You know what I mean? We need it. So here's another source. Then the Daily Mail. Just backing it up really. So big Brendan. So someone just put here, I'll probably take 35 from Saudi Arabia. So this one all depends on Ndidi, but then again, I think it's guaranteed that Ndidi goes to some front runners so far. But I think there's a long way to go. But then again, Leicester will want to get these players moved out as soon as possible. You would expect, but then knowing Leicester, who knows? So that's the latest on to interest to rumours. Obviously, we're going to move on to discuss Maddison and Barnes, who you all really know are very close to moving, especially James Maddison, who's been linked to Newcastle for about 2 years now. And I'm shocked that he's still at Leicester because, according to Newcastle fans, he signed last summer and he signed in January as well. So I don't know why the deal's taken so long. But I feel bad for Pratt, Mendes, Sunchu, and Nacho. Yeah, it's just obviously Sunchu's gone, Mendes gone, Pratt's probably going. I think Nacho might stay, but then again, it depends who comes in for him. Let's say I was talking to Andy the other night. If someone like Crystal Palace or something comes in for him, maybe he'll go for there, or someone at a similar level to that. So. It's like these teams don't see any clips. I know it's weird. I do not even Arsenal. Why the hell do you want Castagne? Oh, he hasn't been our best player this year, but don't get me wrong. But do you know what I mean? It's like it's crazy stuff. But I don't blame. I don't know. I don't mind them taking him. That's what I was trying to say. But it's just they see he's a Belgium international. They watched a few clips from a few years ago. And he's a decent player. If you actually sit down and watch, all of us have watched Leicester all of this season, they realise how shit some of these players are. But then the outsiders and top six fans who watch us on Sky a few times, like, you're wrong, he's not that bad. It's like, shut up, mate. It doesn't matter when people do that. When they talk about Leicester, thinking they know it when they've only watched us on Sky a few times. Like basing Wout Faz off the 2 goals scored against Liverpool. He's not great. Don't get me wrong, but he's not as bad as people make out him to be. Anyway, rant over. How is Brendan not? I know, I don't get it. I really do not understand why Brendan Rodgers would want a Marty. But yeah, that's another rumour as well. So, but yeah, on to the main stuff then. We're going to be talking about James Maddison and Harvey Barnes. Maddison, the main one, because obviously he's been the most linked right now. So, Fabrizio Romano has tweeted about James Maddison earlier on today. So we're going to have a quick look at why can it not stay on this side of the screen? God, I don't get it. Anyway, Fabrizio Romano then today. Newcastle will insist on James Maddison deal this week as they don't want a long saga. Neither do we. He's a top target, but a decision has to be made soon. Tottenham are also working on the player side, still pushing and into the race. No bid was submitted last week. So I think that Barnes and Maddison double bid was fake, according to Fabrizio Romano. So interesting stuff. The key thing about here is that Newcastle don't want the transfer to go on for long either, which is fantastic for both parties. So that I think that reinforces the fact that Maddison is more and more likely to end up at Newcastle this transfer window. But the fee is the interesting one. We're gonna have a quick look at the fee as well in just a minute. But so we'll just obviously Newcastle are going to be wanting to move the deal forward. Obviously it's Tuesday today, so hopefully we can see a bit more progress in the next couple of days, and maybe this time next week Maddison will be a Newcastle player. Leicester can have some funds in the bank and then start to reinvest that, which I think would be good for both parties, just like I said. So Yeah, we're going to have a quick look at the transfer fee then. There's a bit here on Harvey Barnes as well, so this will be interesting. But yeah, this is from another reliable source earlier on today as well. So let me move myself over. Right then, here we go. So yeah, Leicester looking for at least 50 million for Maddison with the battle between Newcastle and Tottenham. Delicately poised. Spurs also among those keen on 40 million plus Harvey Barnes. Yeah, Leicester are valuing our players at quite steep prices here. So based on this, it would be 90 million for them two together, which is interesting. Obviously, Tottenham are interested in both players. There's obviously talk about West Ham, Aston Villa interested in Harvey Barnes as well, which obviously makes sense because Villa are more local than these London clubs and especially Newcastle. But yeah, obviously it's that battle between Newcastle and Tottenham. Obviously there was interest from Arsenal in the past. I don't think they'll go in for him again. We seem to talks about Manchester United a bit. I can't see that going anywhere. So for me, I'd be very shocked if there was another team which came in for James Maddison. Realistically, I think Chelsea, I don't know, Man City. There was some talk in the past a long time ago, but I don't think Maddison would probably want to go there because he wouldn't start every game. So I think for me, I'm 80-20 in favour of Newcastle for Maddison, but for Barnes, I do not have a clue. I think it's a real split. So I think Maddison will go first, and then we'll probably see some movement of Barnes a bit after. So let's say if Maddison goes Newcastle, maybe Tottenham then want Barnes, but I don't know. They've obviously got Son, Kulusevski. You know, they're all good players. Obviously Barnes is decent, but I don't know. I think with someone like Villa, you might get a bit more minutes in there as well. I think Villa's obviously a much superior project than Tottenham right now. Obviously, Yuri's gone there. Unai Emery is a better manager than the Tottenham one as well. I believe personally. So yeah, be interested to see how this one goes. But yeah, once again, nothing major going on, but just a slight, you know, it's building up. So yeah, let's get back into the chat. Here we go. Right, Tillerman's, I've already gone through that. So yeah, Barnes will go to Villa, West Ham or Spurs. I do agree. Off topic, we go L1. I've tried to. I think for some games, I'm going to go with where Ant sits in SK3 at the top. So I'll be up there for a few games now and again. So but yeah, I'll try and move around a bit. Obviously, I don't think it will sell out much next year. So if I spot the odds, I'll see here and there or stay away, I'll move. So yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But SK4 shouldn't be too bad. We'll have to wait and see. Maddison at City would be, yeah, exactly that. I think, you know, Maddison's watched his English teammate go there, and that happened to him. So, yeah, I would be very surprised if Maddison did go. Yeah, a bit more on the future of a certain Harvey Barnes. Our membership's available. I think next few days there was something about rate. I saw something about emailing or something about interest. So yeah, I would imagine latest 1st of July for members. So keep your eyes peeled on that front. I kind of hope the ticket prices are. It sounds very bad, but I kind of hope the ticket prices are high because that's the main reason why I did get a season ticket. I didn't want to pay 50, 40 quid for a championship game. So yeah, it's very selfish. I've got to be honest, but yeah. I just think season ticket obviously works out a lot cheaper. So, yeah, I think of memberships, yeah, I think they'll probably be about 30 quid again. So, yeah, obviously members work quite nicely, and I think you'll get most away games next year with a membership as well. But obviously, yeah, fixtures get released on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So just like I said earlier, if you're just coming in, I need to get some new blue tack. I always forget, and it happens every stream, doesn't it? I need to get some proper blue tack and sort it out. But anyway, allow it. But yeah, let's get on to the tweet then. So an exclusive fit from Ben Jacobs. Arsenal are monitoring Harvey Barnes. I didn't even read this tweet, I just got it up. But as we know, Spurs also interested. Just like I said, similar with Castagne, the priorities remain with Rice, Havertz, and Timber, who is quite close to joining, I do believe. So yes, the same as Castagne, really. I don't think Leicester would want that, but then again, Arsenal would be quite an attractive position for Barnes to go to. He's likely to get some minutes with Arsenal in the Champions League as well, with rotation, etc. as well. But Yeah, I think with Arsenal, if you look here, these three players, that's Arsenal's three priorities this year, and then Barnes and Castagne are kind of backups. They're not going to be marquee signings, are they? So yeah, I think with Barnes, he's probably going to want first team football. And going to Arsenal, you've obviously got Saka, Martinelli in there as well. When Arsenal going forwards, very very good. So I think Spurs could probably be better, but then again, it depends on prices and who Leicester go over as well. So we have to see. All depends on the manager as well. But Arsenal, I haven't really seen Arsenal be interested in Barnes, so it's interesting to see how that will just go as well. But yeah, let's get back into the chat. We're going to wrap up the stream in about 5 or so minutes. I'm going to leave the scarf now. I can't be asked. Would you rather Brendan or the scarves? Oof, that's a good question. That is. Brendan claps, and he usually just stood arms crossed, and he didn't really move around too much. So, based upon that, I'll probably take Brendan because the scarf just go all over the shop. It's going to move in 5 seconds. Watch. Away games with a membership, I doubt it. Much other than Sunderland, perhaps Southampton. Nah, I think last year in the Premier League there was only about 4 or 5 games which didn't go to members. So I think you'll be able to get most. West Ham went to members. Wolves did. Everton did. Chelsea did. Southampton did. Man City did. Leeds did. A few others, I think, as well. So I think there was at least 60% of the games last season which went to members. So I can't imagine it being much different. Obviously, championships the allocations a bit less, and some people may want to tick off the odd game here and there. But yeah, I think I don't know actually. It all depends on how well we do. But I think first few games it may be tough, but then the likes of Sunderland, just like you said, Southampton. Maybe Millwall. I don't know. I don't know how big these away allocations are, so it'll be tough. But yeah, I reckon you could get quite a few. Blackburn, Preston, massive away ends. I reckon you could take about 5k up there. So yeah, I think members you could easily get to at least 5 games, probably more than that this year. So Cardiff, Swansea, Bristol, Plymouth, maybe. So yeah. Can be asked the coach. I have heard about that. Casper, director of football. Don't know about that. Where Barnes goes, it will be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how these players perform as well, because obviously last year they were poor. I think we all know the talents of Maddison and Barnes, but players like Castagne, players like Tillemans, it will be interesting to see how they do. Obviously, it's annoying to see them at these clubs, but then again, they won't be playing against us next year, so I don't really care. So we'll have to wait and see on that front. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they're going. They may suddenly play good again. Have a feeling Barnes might flop. Yeah, I think with Barnes, he may go somewhere and take a long time to get going, but then he may hit a good run of form, and then he could really progress. Because if he goes to a top 6 club, obviously he's more likely to go into the England setup as well. We need to sell everyone. We got over Maddison. I want him gone. Whereas the Quincy West Ham lot are crying about Rice, 120 million, my arse. Yeah, that's the thing. I think the transfer windows is. I saw Pellegrini being valued at like 90 million earlier, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I think with us, with Big Maguire going for 80. I'm hoping for Bristol and Cardiff. I know Saints away I can get. Yeah. Oh yeah. Obviously they're more local too, aren't they? Yeah, it's a bit weird this year. There's a lot of North games. There's so many games up north where usually it's like 8 away games in London or something stupid. Now there's only 2. So we'll have to see. Just on away games, I need to do some research on away allocations as well. I know a few of the northern clubs have massive away allocations, like Sunderland do. Hull City is fairly decent. Like I said, Blackburn, Preston's quite big. Rotherham's very small. Sheffield Wednesday is decent size. Coventry is obviously will be very hard to get. You've got Birmingham City as well. We've got Stoke, West Brom. So and most of them are previous Prem grounds. So I think the allocations won't be too bad for a away point of view. Even in yeah, that's true. Obviously, I just don't think. I think they didn't have anything else to give them there really. He'll be either good or really bad. Yeah, I want to see some movement start to happen. I think we'll get some more stuff going on when the players go back into training. So obviously, I think Enzo would probably like to see them in person and then make his mind up. But there has been a few little rumours flying about, but nothing of a concrete source. So I won't talk about them tonight. Obviously, you would expect us to get linked with a lot of Man City youngsters. So we'll see if anything develops up on that front. But yeah, right now. It's just a waiting game, really. Missing the season, so I know I'm kind of looking forward to it. To be fair, fully giving West Ham what they're giving, it's fair, yeah. And that's the thing: if someone knows they have money, like Leicester know Newcastle have loads of money, so we I don't really see the problem with Leicester putting a high price on Maddison, especially if it's going to be some sort of bidding war. I know Leicester got relegated and according to Twitter people, that dramatically decreases the price, which, yeah, it's going to bring it down to some extent. People are making out that Maddison should go for 20 million just because Leicester got relegated. Why? I do not understand this logic about how get relegated dramatically reduces the price by 50%. I really do not understand it. Now, obviously, Leicester have less power, and Maddison's going to want to go and stuff. Mayor's over the mayor, but I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Southampton, Leicester commentary to go up, Leeds to finish. Oh, yeah, Leeds, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a banging away day. Italian ball, let's have it. Is right. HMS, the league. For me, a home game is an away game, really. Still got a fair few. I'm trying to get an away. Trying to get to as many away games as you can. Yeah, if you ever want to go to an away game, and if I can't go for some reason, I'm happy to give tickets and stuff, but say that quietly because Leicester will be on my case. So yeah, and Barnes, Josh, he would be good or really bad wherever he goes. 100% agree. Gotta be honest, don't really know any of that. Palmer, I think Cole Palmer it's going to be interesting really because I think he is at quite a high level. Then again, it's that balance between does he want time in the Premier League where he may not start consistently, but if he comes to Leicester in the Championship, I reckon he could get more minutes, but then again, you have to counter in how many of our attacking players go in likes of Daka and Iheanacho. Obviously, Cole Palmer can play alongside that front line, but obviously we are very lacking in wingers right now. I think the only winger we realistically have next season is right now is Harvey Barnes. Let's not forget someone stupid. Perez is gone. Barnes is obviously going to go. Tete is gone. So yeah, can't believe I spent 10 quid on the flipping Brazil flag for that fraud. Just so yeah, exactly that, and that's what we need to do. There's no point, flipping Rudkin making Josh ticket dealer. Yeah, face value. Don't worry. You know what I mean? It's this whole thing about if you can't go to a flipping away, if you book an away game 2 months in advance, then you can't go because you got something come up. Oh, you're not allowed to give it to someone else. Bloody hell, goes against the terms and conditions that does, doesn't it? You know what I mean? I don't listen. Anyway, stupid, isn't it? Really, I think this season they are introducing a transfer scheme, but then again, I just think I don't get it. The whole ID thing as well is a bit pathetic, but yeah, we'll have to see. I don't have a clue. Don't have a Scooby. I gotta be honest. My ball knowledge in the Premier League is of a high standard, but outside of that, I don't have a Scooby Doo. We still have the Singapore IS. Come on, Liverpool and Tottenham. I mean, it's decent. The only thing about that is that they are good teams to test yourself out against. I guess it's better than playing Northampton and Scunthorpe and whoever else you played in previous years. The pointless friendly against Beaumont Leeds FC, but yeah, it's just stupid. That's 5 days before the season, and you could probably guarantee that Leicester will play Plymouth away first game of the season Friday night, which I probably would take, but yeah, you can guarantee that Leicester will get selected for the Friday night first game of the season. But yeah, I think that is where we're going to wrap up tonight's stream, boys and girls. Let's have a quick look if there's anything come out since I've been streaming on Twitter. I don't believe there is anything. You guys probably would have said it, but yeah, let's have a quick look. Does it look like it? No, nothing. So there we go. So yeah, if you've got any final thoughts, feel free to let me know in the chat. If you enjoyed tonight's stream, make sure to drop a like. As I always say, if you watch this stream on playback, make sure to let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed tonight. Obviously, Ndidi, Castagne, Maddison and Barnes, the kit as well. Yeah, exactly. They're all FIFA merchants, isn't it? Hybrid nations at SBCs. Leuven, new signing could be. Yeah, obviously we've got Nathan Apoku who's on our box, but I don't know how his work permit works for the championship and stuff as well. So yeah, there we go, then, boys and girls. I think that is where we're going to wrap up tonight's stream. So yeah, the plan. I might go live tomorrow night if anything comes up. If not, I'll be next live Thursday morning for the fixture release bright and early. 8:50 start for that one, which is going to be interesting. I don't think there'll be too many people watching, but it's all good. Obviously, most of you guys are still in school and got work and stuff as well. But lucky for me, I'm finished. So there we go. But yeah, that is the plan. Like I said, I think lots will happen in the next couple of days. If anything happens with the kit, I'll probably do a quick little stream on that as well. But yeah, the countdown to the new season begins. We are just over a month away. Pre-season begins soon. Obviously, the season's completely done now internationally as well. So the real rundown until opening day begins. So there we go, boys and girls. Championship, we are coming for you. You know, sorry, at least we got a manager sorted. Leeds are still trying to sort a manager out. Southampton still ain't got a manager, I don't believe. Obviously, Russell Martin's been linked, but I don't think he's actually been officially announced. But anyway, there we go. Thanks for joining, boys and girls. Much appreciated as always. If you haven't already, make sure to drop a like as you head off tonight. And yeah, I'll see you boys in the next one. I'm SPORTSA, and I will see you then in a bit. I'd stay safe. All the Leicester.